What's up, guys? I am going to be doing a transport masterclass, aka just a bunch of trip tips to use great at transports and some really fun things that I do with them that maybe not everyone is aware of. If you're aware of it, enjoy and maybe see if I come up with anything you don't know. So transports, I usually play anywhere from 3 to 4 transports in all of my banisher lists. I think they have so much utility and they really allow your army to like do a lot of different things that Grey Knights sometimes struggle with. And those things are having like cheap things to do objectives, cheap things to run into stuff, cheap things to move block, and transports actually fill all of those roles on top of a few of them having just a fun twin glass cannon on the top. So sit back and we're going to run through some pretty cool things that I do with Razorbacks and Rhinos in my Banisher lists that will really help you. All right, so the first one is on Search and Destroy. You can do it on some other layouts, but I find myself doing this in Search and Destroy nearly every single time I go first, is just having a very aggressive Scout Rhino / Razorback. I do 2 in every one on my list. And then depending on how my opponent's playing the game, I will usually keep one of my strike squads inside of it. So in this matchup, our opponent can't move through walls really well, right? And I just want to shove my Rhino in their face and put them back a whole turn. So what I'll do, we don't want my strike squad to die, so they're going to get out. We scout at 6, right? Scout 6 to here. Straight line. Our strike squad gets to get out and run back to our home. And now we're going to be filling that sticky function with them, right? Now this unit just gets to go boom and sit right here. So 10 and then pivot. Or you can just advance it and shove it right in their face. Just like so. So what this does is anything that's a vehicle or demon prince monster cannot walk through here onto this middle point. What that's going to allow us to do is they don't have any way to pressure the middle now, and that gets to also open up this whole space for us to drop in if we really wanted to on our next turn. So, and then over here, I do like to keep the strike squad in here. So we're going to scout 6. And then we get to go 12. And now we can just charge this Poxwalker unit. You know what I'm saying? Charge the Poxwalker unit. Now we're on the objective. And if they blow us up, we get to fall out right there with anywhere from looks 8 to 10 OC. And that's just 2 instances of how I like to use them early game if I go first. The scout in general also lets you scout, and you get to like deploy here and on the line. And if you go first, you get to go here. And if you go second, you get to scout back to safety. So that's just one quick example on the scout. Now let's flip it a teeny bit. And let's say we do our scout 6, right? And our opponent has left, I don't know, something squishy here, they have something staged like right here that's very squishy. We can move our strike squad 9, and that is a super reasonable charge. Also keep in mind we could advance and charge with it. Now, if you do that, guys, make sure you have 1 to go to your home. I've tried kind of killing both early, and it ends up being really frustrating not having this be sticky late game. So this is another, honestly, pretty common scenario that I've come across. So the Rhino here gets to hold 10 guys in it, which a lot of the time is my 10-man intercept unit. If those don't know, that means the unit gets to go 15 inches out of this thing. And on Search and Destroy, that 15 inches gets to get you literally anywhere you want. So not only that, but it also functions as like a mobile base for like a 5-man. So if you guys didn't know, you can like go like this, right? So this unit gets to fly out here 15. Let's just call it 15, right? You get to fly out here to be 15. And then the 5-man that's over here, this is really cool. And it's kind of just like more fancy than anything. But what you could do with it is it flies your 12, right? So 12 gets to put it to here. And like shoot some trash, whatever, this way. And then it gets to go fire and fade into this one. Into that Rhino right there. So that thing gets to basically jump all the way across the table into another transport while this unit is out doing stuff. I think that's really cool and really interesting. And if you guys don't have to get back in the same vehicle that you got out of in the turn, especially with the fire and fade. So you can use it to like jump all around the table. So like, let's say you had like one right here and you had a 5-man interceptor, you get to get out like your 12. And then now, instead of you having to like go back into this one, you can go into this Razorback. You fire and fade here, and now you're like you're setting up little checkpoints for your interceptors all over the board. It's a really cool strategy. It's actually one of the reasons I considered playing 2 Rhinos, so that way this unit can like jump out, shoot 40 Stormbolters, and then like bounce into like another Rhino over here. But not super realistic. But then like this can declare a charge, and now all of a sudden like you transported this unit like all the way across the table. It's really cool, really cool. All right, let's do some more cool transport stuff. On a lot of the layouts where there's buildings that are like flat across here or like this, where you're able to, like when you blow up, you can fall out onto points. This is, again, a little more basic stuff. But if you were to like park this right here, and let's say they line up to like shoot you down this way and they kill you, because you position up against the wall, the 5-man units can all easily just fall out like this. Boop. And now it's safe from being shot, and you're likely going to score the primary. Transports in Grey Knights do a really cool job of layering, and transports in general, just like layer your opponent's activations. And then like a 5-man unit with a 2-up armor save is like kind of annoying to kill, right? Especially if they're now in cover. So most of the time, like if this gets killed, you end up just like this, and you get to score the primary. Now, another way you can do it is like this. If you're scared of them on that side of the table, you can drop it right here. You can fall on this side of the wall. Another thing you can do is you can park it right here. And if it blows up, you can fall on this side to safety. And this is all just going to be based on what you feel the mobility of your opponent is here. And it's a really fun way to scam primary, because now your opponent all of a sudden has to like commit stuff way up the table to stop you from doing this kind of play. And then when they do, you just get to fall out to like other safety, right? Like even if you're right here, they can't line up to shoot you from both ways generally. And unless they're like exactly like here-ish, you're safe in here as well. So they either have a bunch of their stuff like right here, in which case it's like going to get shot next turn and you have to go over here. Or if they have everything, if they have stuff lined up on this side, you just get to fall out like this. Then you score the primary like pretty much no matter what in this scenario, unless your opponent made some really aggressive plays. This is another sort of cute one. Again, nothing super fancy, guys. This is just showcasing all the cool things that I do with transports, right? So you can be 9 inches away from it. Now, theoretically, like in this scenario, I would have them right here. So what we're going to do is if our opponent steps on this middle point, we get to spend 1 CP, and Mist of Deimos, if you guys don't know, or Shadows of Anarch, is also a full reactive move. So they get to move 6 inches, which also gets them back inside of the Razorback here. So this is a cool way to like just kind of do the combi lieutenant thing. You can like keep going back behind walls and things like that, and then flying out 15 inches. Really handy little tool, and nothing super fancy, but some people don't know that you can Shadows of Anarch, Mist of Deimos into a transport, which it comes up sometimes. I mostly go to Deep Strike, but in some scenarios where maybe you don't want to like miss Rapid, they just get to go boop, go back into the Rhino, easy, boom, it's over, and now you're safe. And that's a pretty basic one there, nothing super fancy. All right, so I kind of want to close the video out with a fun little puzzle to kind of showcase some of the things that we just talked about and utilize the skills that I just taught you. Okay, so let's break down the table. All right. Our opponent has a Malefic Blight Hauler here on 1 wound, another one right here in line of sight from the middle. He's here for no reason, and then we've got 1 Blight Launcher Drone here who can move either 10 this way or 10 this way. And then we have a second one that is basically able to do the same thing, okay? And then on this side of the table, we've got our opponent with 10 Poxwalkers under our expansion. We have a Rhino with 10 interceptors in it, and a Razorback with 5 interceptors in it. So there's a few different ways we can break down this puzzle. So if you guys are interested in kind of coming up with your own stuff, please pause the video here. I'm gonna give you about 5 seconds, and then I'll run through my solution. There's about 2 or 3 different ways you can do this, but our goal when we play Grey Knights is to stop our opponent from scoring while losing the least amount of stuff we possibly can. Okay, so yeah, pause the video, give you a second. All right, so this is my solution. Your solution might be better, it might be worse, but this is what I wanted to do. Okay, so what I do here is I take this 5-man interceptor unit, and what I'm going to do with them, they're going to get out. This is going to go to bear here, so it's up against this wall. Our intercept unit is going to go 12, so that it is within 9 inches of our very cool Razorback, which it is because we get to fire in Fate 6. And notably, we're able to shoot this and that, okay? Now our 10-man interceptor unit, they get to get out 3 and move 15. So essentially, we are going to be able to have a guy go from here to here. Now, what do we want to do? We always want to make sure, oops, that's too far. We always want to make sure that our plays in this game are consistent, repeatable, and we want to remove dice from it as much as possible, right? Because we don't want to lose our units for free like a dummy, and we also don't want to give our opponents points. So what we're going to end up doing, we're going to layer our odds, so that way we're, number one, here we're within a grenade range, because we didn't have to advance because we are broken and go 15 inches out of this thing. But we also want this unit to try and kill this because it's on 1 wound before we waste a grenade. And it's important that we do it here because we can then like fire and fade back into this Razorback with this shot. So in this scenario, we are going to say that we just shot all of our stuff and did nothing. But now we get to fire and fade back into our Razorback. Very cool. Now this Razorback can either shoot here at the 1 wound thing, or it can shoot down the line here at this. Now, granted, we would have probably shot this first for extra AP. Let's just say we did that. But what I would have done is I would have shot the Stormbolters here, and then the 2 big gun, and then the Hunter Killer and Blast Cannon here at this guy, okay? So we said, again, we still did nothing. Now, we banked on that because we were within 8 here. So now we get to throw a grenade, and we are going to kill it with that grenade. And now because we did not have to advance, we just simply roll our charge here. And now we get to remove this unit from the game as well. And even if we don't kill it, we are always taking this objective, right? And it's important that we stretch out far enough so that if our opponent decides to come around this corner with something to shoot us, we get to miss. And if they get to go back this way, then we get to rapid. And that is kind of the dynamic here. And then on this side, he has to go here with his first drone. And then now his second drone has to make a decision on how it wants to handle this. So it can go here in case he pops it and he falls out and shoots us, in which case we just fall out right here. Or this drone gets to go here to guarantee he kills this Razorback, in which case we fall out on this side and score primary. Now, obviously, would both players have a lot more units in play? Yeah, for sure. But I just wanted to show you guys kind of the layering and the thought process that I like to have, and how you can do some really cool stuff with interceptors that move very, very fast. And now we're here, and we get your opponent ends any kind of move within this whole bubble. You know, we get to pick up with miss and do it again. So, hope you guys maybe learned something. You know, this video is really fun to make. I was gonna do like a whole game, but I don't know. I didn't feel like I was explaining things the right way, and it just got confusing. What I need to do is just record a TTS game that I play and just post the raw game, and you guys can see how I play. But that's kind of how I like to utilize transports. Super fun, super cool. If you guys want to see anything in the future, please let me know. If you thought the puzzle was stupid, let me know. If you want to see more puzzles, let me know. Thank you. Like and subscribe.
We hold this ground in the name